How's it, everyone? Welcome to this live stream. I am so glad that you were able to join me today. I hope that you can see and hear me. If you wouldn't mind letting me know in the comments, it would be massively appreciated. I'm looking at my phone just to make sure that everything is working the way it should be working. I just got off a live stream a second ago, and it was, I say we, it was me, messed up the tech side of it, so we had a bit of a struggle, but it does seem like this one is working 100%. So just wanted to thank you for taking the time to join me today. Let me know in the comments that you are here and where you're joining me from. Man, things are hectic at the moment, but these are the times we live in, I guess, and I'm super excited that I've been able to set this up and that you've been able to set some time up or aside that you've been able to join me. And for those of you who don't know me, I think most of you do because I'm doing it from my personal page, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brad and I live in Cape Town. And I'm going to run through ways for you to sort of take the skills that you already have and take them online so that you can start earning an income using tools and resources that I'm going to share with you today. So hopefully you're going to get tons out of today's talk. If you don't mind, I'm going to flip this camera around. It's on a tripod in my office at the moment. It might get a bit bumpy, so hold on. There we go, just so you know. There's my office. There's a couple of pictures from my kids, which is cool. My Comrades medal up on the wall there, which is something I'm proud of. I've got my Ironman medals there, and there we go. So I'm going to pop it there. That should work perfectly. All right, just an apology up front. The times that we're in now, our kids are at home from school. There's no school happening, so they are running around. It might get a little bit noisy on that front. The second thing that might become a bit of an issue is our next door neighbors have decided this is a great time to do renovations. So they have a building site that's running literally 2 meters from our office outside the window on my right. So every now and again, you might hear an angle grinder. It's not me in a butchery. It's our next door neighbors making a huge noise. So what I'm going to do is, if it's cool with you, is I'm just going to share my screen and then flick it up onto presentation. And hopefully you will be able to see that. So let me just make 100% sure that it is going, which I think it is, which is perfect. There we go. That is working 100%, it seems, which is cool. Hopefully you can see the slide that's up on the screen right now. Let me see if there are any comments, if who's with us. I see a couple of people have joined us, which is cool. Everything seems to be working perfectly. So this is what you're going to learn today: how to take the skills you already have to start an online business without giving up what you're currently doing. And I think that's the key. Obviously, things are very uncertain at the moment. We're not quite sure the state that the world is in, where this is going to end. But I wanted to just run through some things today that is going to help you and hopefully help you in the long term, because that's essentially my plan, and hopefully everything will be working 100%. So I'm just going to try and get onto that live stream so that I can actually see the comments. There we go. So we've got Ray's watching. How's it, Ray? Nice to have you on. Nadine Sheffield's also joining us. How's it, Nadine? Nice to have you on too. Britt also joining us. So there we go. A few people on. If you join us throughout, you're more than welcome, as always, to ask questions in the comments. I'm going to run through some stuff and then we'll get to those questions towards the end. So if that's cool, if something pops up that I'm not 100% sure or that I can cover at that point, then that's cool. Steph joining us as well. How's it, Steph? Nice to have you on. All right, so I'm going to flick through these sorts of things. So this is what I'm going to be covering today, and I want to get through it as quickly as possible. I don't want to take too much of your time, and hopefully that this will sort of plant seeds and get the juices flowing. That's my goal for us today. So what I'm going to share with you is the way that most people think we make money online and why that actually doesn't work. I'm going to share 7 ways that we are currently generating income online in various businesses that we have and which one is the most profitable. I'm going to share with you the easiest way to learn how to do it, which doesn't need you to give up anything that you're doing currently, and also the tools that I use and what we use them for. So I just want to give you a little bit of background before we start as to where I'm coming from. For those of you who don't know me, that's my family. I am a husband to Christine. I've got 3 kids, Ethan, Grace in the middle there, and Lily. And I've got a background in radio and TV. This is where it all began, back on a radio station called 94.7. I started with them back in 2002 in Johannesburg. Some of you may know that radio station at the time. I don't know if it still is, but it was the largest commercial radio station in Gauteng. And things were fabulous. Life was good. I knew it wasn't going to last forever. And that's why I always was looking for something else, because I knew at some stage it was going to come to an end. I always sort of had the feeling that there was no longevity in it. And early on in my career, I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that really just opened my mind to different possibilities of generating income. And I looked at property, and I looked at shares, and all of that sort of thing. And as a freelancer and independent contractor, you may or may not know this, and I know a lot of you are sitting in the situation right now that if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. And I was in that for 20 years where if I didn't do a radio show, if I didn't pitch up for a TV shift, I just didn't get paid. It was as simple as that. And there was no paid vacation, no holidays, no sick leave. So if you got ill, sorry for you, you lose income as well. So it was really a tough, I mean, it was great. It looks glamorous, but it was stressful at the best of times. And while I was at 94.7, I was making really good money, and I knew that I needed to do something else. We didn't live a flashy life, but what I did was I picked the vehicle that I wanted to use was investment properties, and we had bought the house that we were living in. We were paying that off, and we bought 3 extra rental properties that we were renting out. There was a bit of a shortfall on each of the rentals that we were paying, writing it off against tax. Everything was good. And I was working really hard, but I felt that was my way out, that when my radio career and TV career eventually did come to an end, that was going to be my way to do it. And I'm going to be sharing things on this webinar today that nobody actually knows. So hopefully me being a little bit vulnerable today is sort of going to get your mind going. And in 2010, it was in the build-up to the Soccer World Cup. There was lots of excitement here in South Africa, and I was currently, it wasn't a permanent thing. Like I said, I was a freelance contractor. I had been doing the afternoon drive on Highveld Stereo. So it was the second biggest show on the station. Jeremy Mansfield was the guy who was doing the breakfast show. Myself, I was doing the afternoon. I had a team. A couple of the guys are still around. Bailey Schneider was doing my traffic. She now works for Smile down in Cape Town. And things were really good. And it was an exciting time. But that feeling that it was coming to an end at some stage was always gnawing in the back of my mind. And then one Friday afternoon, things changed. It was literally just after the Football World Cup had ended. I got called in on a Friday afternoon to my boss and literally got told, thanks for coming, but don't worry about coming back on Monday. We've got someone else to do the show. And that was it. I went from earning pretty decent money to earning nothing. And as much as I had been thinking of doing different things, it's just, I mean, my world collapsed. I had the bottom ripped out, and it's sort of the feeling I'm having at the moment. And I'm sure you're probably feeling the same sort of way, that there's this uncertainty, and it's just, it's frightening. I mean, it's difficult to describe unless you've gone through it. And we literally lost everything in that rug being pulled out from out of us. So I lost the house we were living in. I lost my investment properties. My car got repossessed. It was an horrific time, and not one that I want to sort of live through again. As an adult with kids and a wife, I had to move back into my parents' house. It was horrid. And it was a tough sort of stretch, and we've come through it and grown on the other side. But I never want to sort of relive that again. And that's why I wanted to do this presentation today, was just to talk a little bit about what now, like what can we do? What are some of the options? Shortly thereafter, I joined Eyewitness News, and I joined Supersport and flicked over to sport. So a lot of you will know me from my sport background and think that's where it started, but it actually started in music radio. And the funny thing is, people think that Supersport and Eyewitness News is this glamorous life. The reason I was working 2 jobs is because I couldn't afford to just work one. And the shifts that I was working were ridiculous. I mean, there were probably 2 or 3 nights a week that I was sleeping in my car in the parking lot of either Eyewitness News or Supersport. I had a duvet and a pillow in my car all the time. I used to shower at the Virgin Active because that was my life at the time. It was crazy shifts. But funny thing is, while I was, and I shouldn't probably admit this, but while I was on air at Supersport, I was sitting working on online stuff and trying to build a business sort of on the back end. So that was where we are. And we were just literally working those 2 jobs to keep our heads above water. I'm sharing this photo, and there's a bit of a follow-up coming a little bit later on that I wanted to share. So this is my wife's pregnant belly in 2002. And I mentioned the life as a freelancer. There's no work, no pay. During this time, I was learning everything that I could. And in December 2012, I was just absolutely shattered with everything that had happened in the previous 2 years. I took a 3-week holiday. We took the family. It was myself, Chris, and Ethan and Grace. Lily wasn't born yet. That's Lily there. And we went to the Pilanesberg for 3 weeks in December. If anybody's been pregnant, you'll know that heat is an issue. And I don't know how my wife sort of got through it, but we're still married, which is probably testament to her. And we took 3 weeks holiday, but that 3-week holiday not only cost me the cost of taking 3 weeks and taking my family away, but it was 3 weeks of lost income. So essentially 6 weeks that I had to cover. And it was stressful, to be honest, but I really needed that holiday. And there's a cool little full circle photo coming up a little bit later on. So let's talk about how most people think. So I hope the reason I shared that story is I just wanted you to know that I'm normal just like you. And yes, I've got a radio and TV background, so I'm comfortable talking on camera and microphones and that sort of thing. But I'm just a normal, everyday guy trying to provide for my family. And that's what I wanted to share with you. And hopefully you can resonate with that today. So how do most people think we make money? The image on that screen is an iceberg. And you've probably heard this analogy so many times that the little tip of the iceberg, what you see is not actually what's happening underneath the surface. And that's exactly what it is like for our business and businesses that we have. So the one or the two things that people see on the outside are our podcast and our YouTube videos. And they think that's the way we make money. And 99% of people that I come across think it's an advertising model, that we are creating these media properties that we can then sell advertising on to sponsors who make whatever it is, depending on what the podcast, the podcast and the videos are that we put out on a weekly basis. Sorry, I've got some coffee and I've got some water as well. Hopefully you've got something to drink too. All right, so let's talk a little bit about sort of the harsh reality. And this is, I want you to realize this because it's important as a starting point from building an online business, that you will see lots of things. And I think a lot of people have a misconception about the internet, thinking that, oh, it's free, everything's free. The truth of the matter is that nothing is free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. My parents always used to tell me that. Like, if somebody's offering you free lunch, there's something in it for them. You don't know what it is. You don't know what the motives are, but there's always something in it for them. And this is what it boils down to, particularly in the online space. And I want you to read this and read it and really understand it, that if you're consuming something for free online, you are the product. What do I mean by that? So let's look at a platform, and I'm streaming this on Facebook, and Facebook is a prime example of this. So Facebook has massive, massive reach, and Google is the same, but we're sticking to the Facebook example, that there are millions of advertisers advertising their products on Facebook, and the amount of data that Facebook has on us as users is frightening. So you are clicking on a website about power tools, and all of a sudden you are getting adverts for power tools in your Facebook feed. That is the sort of stuff that I'm talking about. And that's on a very basic level of how it works. So Facebook is gathering all this data on this free platform that you and I are using for free, and they're selling that data to third parties who then can advertise and use that data for whatever they want. And some of it's positive, some of it's negative, some of it's good, some of it's evil. It's up to you as an individual to decide where you want to play in that space. But you need to understand that when you're consuming something online that's free, you are the product. And there are lots of people who consume things and are willing to pay for things online, and that's essentially what we're doing. So I'm going to get into the advertising, why the advertising model doesn't work online. So let me use, most of us listen to radio or watch TV, and I always was frustrated when I was on radio that I always felt it was lowest common denominator radio, that we weren't really appealing to this higher echelon of listener. We were playing music that the most people would be happy with. We were saying things that the most people would be happy with. It was very mundane, gray sort of area. And the reason for that is you need to appeal to as many people as you can so you can get people onto your platform, listening, reading, watching, so that you can sell their eyes and ears to advertisers. And why that doesn't work in the online space for independent content creators like myself and probably you, is you need massive numbers in order for that to work. So to give you an example, we had a website probably about 3-4 years ago that was getting 250,000 unique visitors a month, which is huge numbers. In the website game, that is massive. And we were just trying to monetize that by adverts. So the banner ads and that you see on websites. And if you have to ask yourself a question, when last did you click on a banner on a website? I don't know when last I clicked on a banner. So that sort of advertising, as much as it's invasive and it's there, it hardly works. So every time somebody clicks on one of those banners, we used to get paid. So we built a website and a community of 250,000 unique visitors to that website every month. And the check that we were pulling from Google for those Google ads was just over 2,000 Rand a month. So it is a drop in the ocean. There's no, I mean, to build a website that big takes time and effort. You can't survive on 2,000 Rand a month for most people. So you need massive, massive numbers. Advertisers, most advertisers still believe that you need big numbers. So if you look at the big brands that are advertising on radio and TV, they are doing a little bit in the digital space, but they still believe in that shotgun approach. So if you're selling a pair of diamond earrings, or no, let me use an example of nappies. If you're selling nappies or diapers for babies, you are advertising on a radio station like KFM as an example, and let's say they have 1 million listeners. Not every one of those 1 million listeners have a baby in their life. So you are missing a whole lot of people, but you're hoping that there's a small percentage that do, and hopefully they'll buy your nappies. Whereas in the online space, you can really niche down and find a community that you can serve. So you can become a mom blogger as an example, or have a YouTube channel that's dedicated to educating new moms, and that would be the perfect audience for a diaper company. But because you only may be reaching 1,000 people or 2,000 people, they don't see as much value in that as advertising to 1 million people, regardless of the fact that the 2,000 people that you are actually sort of reaching are their ideal client. And there's a lot of disconnect between the old traditional marketing and advertising world and what's happening online at the moment. And the truth of the matter is, particularly in the online space, when you try and serve everyone, you reach no one. So that's also a very important thing. I often speak to people and they say, we want to start this online business, we don't know what to do, and we want to target women. It's just too broad. You've got to really specify and find your little tribe and serve them better than anybody else is serving them online. And I'm going to give you some examples of that through when I run through the ways that we make money and why it works that way. And if you look at politics in the world at the moment, it's not the bland, middle-of-the-road politics or politicians that are getting the votes. It's the guys on either end, the left and the right, who make the most outlandish statements, who lie, those are the guys and girls who are getting voted in. And the reason being is because the people that they attract know that that's their tribe. They're not trying to attract everyone, they're just trying to attract the right person. So that's pretty important. So when it comes to creating an income online, the three things, and I'll run through this in a bit more detail in some other training that I'm planning, is you need to sit down and think. And too often people think about what they do for a living 9 to 5 as the way they're going to make money online. And there are millions of other ways to do it. It doesn't have to be related to your job. And I wanted to share this with you. So you need to start thinking about, what are your skills? What are you really, really good at? What are your interests? And where is there opportunity? Okay. So from a skills perspective, if I have to think about myself, back in my radio and TV days, my skills were presenting on radio and on TV. That's where my skills were. It wasn't anything else. My interests were in building online businesses and how to do this and building websites and that sort of thing. And where was the opportunity? It wasn't in broadcasting online. It was in building online businesses. So I used some of the skills that I have and I combined them with interests, and we found opportunity, and that's where we go. So a good example of this is a website and we started this in the very early days, and I wish I knew then what I knew now. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to put this training together, is because we started a website. You're going to laugh. We started a website that was based around beading. So making beaded jewelry, but tutorials. And we didn't have a clue what we were doing. We were, again, still on that advertising model. And we built this website where we were creating these beading tutorials, and we were getting tons of traffic. The women loved the beading jewelry we were making. I mean, I remember taking photos. I was making the beaded jewelry. Myself and my wife were doing it, but I was making necklaces, and I was like really into this thing. It wasn't really something that I was into, but it was getting us some traction. And again, we were getting tons of visitors, but we weren't getting the clicks on the banners. We weren't making money, and that business fizzled out. If I knew now if I knew then what I knew now, I would be doing nothing else but making beaded jewelry, because blew an absolute gold mine. But hindsight's 2020. We've learned some great lessons out of that, and we've moved on. So think of things like that. What are your hobbies? What do you love doing? Maybe you're a genius when it comes to Excel. I mean, I'm useless when it comes to Excel, but there's things that I want to do. I will pay someone to show me how to use Excel or create a worksheet or a template or something like that if I'm trying to do. So think of those sorts of things. What are the things that you do that you can do with your eyes closed, that you don't even think are like really impressive? Those are the things, and those are the areas that you can really make money online. So you need to identify a small group that are passionate, that are spending money online already, and that you can serve better than anyone else. Okay, so let's get into the 7 ways that we make money. Hopefully everyone's still on the same page. I just want to check if there are any questions that I've missed out. Hopefully you are all still with me. I see we do have a few people, which is cool. So it doesn't look like there are any questions. No, not yet. Okay, so let me jump into the 7 ways that we currently, or 7 of the ways that we currently make money online. And I'm doing this in order of the easiest through to almost the easy. Yeah, I don't want to say the ones that generate the most money, but I want to show you like the easiest through to the ways that don't generate the most money, if that makes sense. So the first one we do is one-on-one coaching. So one of the businesses that I'm involved in, a lot of you will know who he is. The guy on the right in that photo holding the stopwatch is Lindsay Parry. He's my business partner on a website that we own called coachparry.com. And Lindsay is the best running and triathlon coach in South Africa at the moment. He's the high performance coach for Triathlon South Africa. He's the official Comrades Marathon coach. He's the official coach for the Soweto Marathon. And over the years, I've been working with Lindsay probably for the last 7 years. We've built a very sizable one-on-one coaching book to the point that Lindsay doesn't have any more hours in the day. So he physically can't take on any more one-on-one coaching clients. We've hired a whole bunch of other coaches as well that work and work with Lindsay's coaching philosophy in a one-on-one sort of manner with athletes that we coach. So you can use your skills or passions to help others do what you already know what you're doing. Okay, like I said, there's one-on-one coaching, and you can also do group coaching. So those are 2 slightly different things. The one-on-one coaching, obviously Lindsay chatting to me, this is what the call would look like if I was his athlete, and we do it online. Obviously Lindsay does do a lot of in-person, but he does a lot online where he chats to one-on-one coaching clients around the world. We've got a coaching book that's global. The second way that we do it is through group coaching. So we get small groups together. We do sort of calls like this every single week where we are coaching in a group setting and people get help. So you're not paying for one-on-one time, but you are paying for more sort of access, but in a less formal one-on-one environment. And think about what you do. Is this something that you could do from a coaching perspective? And it might, don't just think athletic coaching. That's what I want you to think here. Obviously, this business is based on athletic, and I want to share details of a friend of mine. I'm going to move that there. Hopefully, that will move it out the way so you can see. But it's a guy by the name of Eric Krueger. And Eric is by training, and this is what I mean. Eric by training is a physiotherapist. He studied originally to become a physiotherapist, and then he got really interested in sort of life coaching and business coaching, and he is now a business coach. He's gone and done his MBA in business coaching, and he is phenomenal. He's packed in his physiotherapy practice, and all he does now is business coaching, and he does team workshops. So he does group coaching for teams, and he is one of the best in the country, if not the best, when it comes to working with corporate teams. So that's a friend of mine, Eric, and yeah, he's got an amazing business. The second way that you can generate income online is through creating an ebook. And obviously the coaching is dependent on you being there. One of the things that I really struggled with my radio and TV career is that I needed to be there in order to generate the income. I mentioned the story with the holidays, that if you took time off, you didn't get paid. These sorts of products allow you to leverage your time. So you create the book once, and you can sell it over and over and over. So this takes time to do, but it is so worth doing because it leverages what you do. So I say ebook, I'm talking digital products in general. So take a part of what you do and package it as a digital product. So it might be an ebook. It might be training plans. It might be resource packs. And let me use another example. Someone answered that survey that I sent out before we did this, said they're in social media and they work with social media or with clients. They do social media for clients. And again, that's one of those things. They need to be there, and that's cool. But they're thinking, how can they take this online? What can they offer their clients more that they can leverage and build their business online? I've seen this, and it happens around December every year because I play in the digital space. I'm obviously getting these sorts of ads. But there's a woman, and I can't for the life of me remember her name. I wanted to show you. But she has built an incredible business. She has taken or created a pack of social media posts and images, generic-y sort of stuff, like quotes and that sort of thing, that businesses can use to post from their social media profiles. So what she's done is she's taken a skill that she's using with clients, and she's packaged it into a digital product that she can sell over and over and over again. And I think she charges about $97 for it. It's a year's worth of posts, and she makes an absolute killing on doing those sorts of things. So here's an example of one that we use in one of our businesses. This is one of our training plans. We don't sell these anymore, but this is how we started the business. We started it with coaching, with training plans. It was literally a PDF that we used to deliver. And I want to share this example with you as well. It's a South African business called Worksheet Cloud. My wife is a customer of theirs, and they sell worksheets, PDF downloads for kids at school. So from grade 1 through to grade 9, you can complete the CAPS and IEB exam revision worksheets. It's amazing. Like, it is such a cool product, but they've created it once and they can sell it over and over and over again. So there's a great example. And the reason I want to show you these examples is just to get you thinking, and hopefully you can do that. So the next way that you can generate income online, and the way we do, is through something called online courses. And online learning is a massive business. More and more people, and in the times we're in now, there's a huge shift into online learning. And more people are open to it. You can take a skill and document what you do step by step online. So that when somebody signs up for your online course, they start it, and at the end of the course, they've gone through a curriculum and they come out the other end with not necessarily a qualification, but with a skill that they can use to improve their life, improve their family, make more money, whatever it is. So there's that opportunity as well. And the format of the course doesn't really matter. You can make it written, so your lessons can be written. You can make them video, or you can make them audio. It doesn't have to be just video. Obviously, video, there's more perceived value in video courses, but those are the three ways that you can do it, and you can do a combination of all three. That's the cool thing as well. So we've got online courses in our businesses. One of the ones that I wanted to share with you is something that I did a couple of years ago called the Podcasting Academy. So one of the questions that I got asked all the time was, how do you start a podcast? And this was something that I did years ago, the first time I did it. And the first couple of times I explained it, it was simple. And then I just got really sick and tired of explaining to people how to do it, that I created an online course. And it's literally a step-by-step. It takes you 21 days. It's 21 modules that you can go through and follow it step by step, that when you come out of it the other end, you've got yourself a podcast live, recorded, edited, and published, and people can listen to it. So that's what I mean by leveraging your time. It's a skill that I had that I've now documented, and it is for sale right now. So the podcastingacademy.com is where you can find out more about that. And I'm just using it as an example. You can go check it out and see what we've done there. The fourth way that we generate income online is through something called a membership site. And the easiest way to explain this is Netflix or Showmax. You pay a monthly subscription for something that you're getting online. So Netflix is essentially a membership site. So is Showmax, so is Amazon. There are tons of these sorts of businesses out there. And now, once you know what's there, you will see them everywhere. People pay you on an ongoing basis for two things. They pay you for access to you, and they pay you for access to your resources. So that's the membership site model is great because it's a recurring income. It takes a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, all of these things, and I probably should have said that in the start, is like any business, this takes work and maintenance. It's not a case of just putting a PDF online and forget about it and you're going to make money for the rest of your life. We run this thing as a proper business, and it rewards us as such. So a good example of a membership site is what we've done over at Coach Parry. We've built an online training club. We've invested heavily in tech that we can deliver our training programs. We no longer send the PDFs, but you use our online app and you can access your training programs within that online app. You get access to our coaches through our forums, so you can chat to them. You get access to group coaching calls, all of that sort of thing. So that's all encompassed in our coaching app. Another example that I wanted to share with you is a very good friend of mine. They're a couple, Tim and Taryn Polton. They are based in Cape Town as well, and I met them online. Funnily enough, South African couple. They were living in the UK, and they've recently moved back to Cape Town. They've built a phenomenal business, and they're location independent. They've been doing this for years, and they have a couple of businesses. One side of their business is something called PCOS Foodies. So Taryn is an occupational therapist by training, or by formal training, but she has PCOS, and I can't even pronounce it. It's polycystic ovary syndrome. I think I got it right. I probably butchered it. But one of the issues with PCOS is fertility and struggling to lose weight and hormone imbalances and that sort of thing. And Taryn went on this journey of trying to research it for herself. She suffered from the condition, and she became an expert in PCOS. And what she had learned, she thought there was value in offering to share this with other women online. And they've built an enormous community online around PCOS. And one of the spin-offs of their business is this, PCOS Foodies. There are certain things that women with PCOS can eat. There are certain things that women with PCOS can't eat. And they've invested in some tech as well and created a whole bunch of meal plans that you can subscribe to their membership site. There's a built-in community as well, their tribe, and you can get access to all of that on a monthly basis, as well as to Taryn from that point of view. The fifth way that we make money, and this isn't a huge part of our business, but it is starting to grow, and it's something that we are looking at doing even more, and that is selling physical products online. So if you and I'll give you an example, and I'm going to use the Coach Parry example as well. I've got it on my desk. So we get asked about merchandise all the time for Coach Parry. So we've got a couple of caps, and we're thinking of doing coffee mugs and that sort of thing, but selling those things physically online. So having a website online where people can go and buy something, click on it, and it gets couriered to their door. And I think more and more, I mean, with the times that we're in now, if you look at the Checkers app as an example, the way they're doing their online deliveries and that sort of thing, I think more and more people are going to be moving in that sort of direction. Sorry, I'm just looking at the time to make sure that I'm not overrunning here, because I don't want to keep you longer than I should. So the physical products is a good one, and a very good example of someone who's combined a bit of everything is a good friend of mine, Warwick Kearns. Warwick started a business a few years ago called Action Gear, and they were importing GoPro cameras, and they were the first sort of online company to sell GoPros online in South Africa. And Warwick built Action Gear into a massive, massive business. I think they were turning over, I speak under correction, but I think I heard him say the other day they were turning over about 20 million Rand a month in their big months. And it was ridiculous what he had done. And that was in the days when it's not as easy to start an online store as it is now. He then sold Action Gear. And with that money and the passion for entrepreneurship and e-commerce, he started something called the Isaka Ecommerce Academy. And what he's done is he's helping South African entrepreneurs start online stores, physical e-commerce stores. And this isn't something that I specialize in. I like the sort of digital product side of things, but the e-commerce side is a really nice sort of entry into this world. And Warwick has got courses that he sells. He's got a community that he's built as well. And it's so funny. I chatted to him yesterday. I didn't actually realize this, but he's starting, and the timing, he's been planning this for months, and it's just weird how things have worked out. So he is starting a 5-day challenge that actually starts today, where he'll help you build an online store. So if e-commerce is something that you're interested in, Warwick is your guy. I'm going to point you in that direction because I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. Warwick knows a hell of a lot more about it than I do. And if you head over to, I've put a link so that if you go there, you can literally go from zero to nothing. From zero, having absolutely nothing, to starting your online store by Friday. So it'll be live by Friday. So we've got a bit of downtime. People aren't sure what's happening. If you go to bradbrown.co, sorry, that is right. That's not a typo. That's my website. It's bradbrown.co/ecom. That's the link on the screen. If you wouldn't mind popping it onto, there we go. Sorry, Ray just mentioned about Warwick. He started with 6,000 Rand capital, and he turned it into a 20 million Rand a year business. There you go. $6,000 to 20 million. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So if you click on that link, bradbrown.co.ecom, Ray, if you wouldn't mind just popping that into the comments, I'd really appreciate it. Go and sign up for that challenge. Even if you do nothing with it, you're going to learn a hell of a lot. But if e-commerce is what you're interested in, this is your opportunity to learn from the expert in South Africa right now, and he'll show you exactly and help you get your online store set up by Friday. So if you're in a hurry to start selling online, Warwick is your dude right now. Okay, then another way, the sixth way that we generate income online is something called affiliate marketing. And this is quite interesting. We all use products on a daily basis, okay? We tell people about them, and then the company that's selling them it is an affiliate, or we're an affiliate to that company. Sorry, Ash, that doesn't make sense. But let me give you an example of this. That's my bicycle, okay? Isn't she pretty? She's beautiful. So those wheels on that bicycle are fully carbon. They are amazing. They are super fast, they're super light, and they are bulletproof. I should say they're bomb-proof. I go through wheels left, right, and center because I'm not the smallest of guys. But those wheels come from a company in Australia called Wheel Science. They make unbelievable wheels. They basically ship them directly from the factory to consumers. And you are probably going to pay half the price you would from the brand name carbon bicycle wheels on the market. So it's the same quality, probably better. If you know anything about bicycles, those things have got DT Swiss hubs. They are phenomenal. And they're half the price that you would pay for a set of zips or those sorts of things. The cool thing is, Wheel Science have got affiliate program, which I'm a member of. If you buy yourself a set of Wheel Science wheels through a link that I refer you to, Wheel Science pay me a 10% commission. So their cheapest wheels are 10,000 Rand. I make $1,000. You can buy a wheel set for 35, 40,000 Rand. I'll make 4,000 bucks. So that's an example of affiliate marketing. We use that on one of our other platforms. Just to be totally honest with you, I'm an affiliate of what Warwick does, and I only refer people to people who I buy and really buy into their business. I use their products and I respect what they're doing. So I'm an affiliate to what Warwick's doing at Insaka because I know I'm not an e-commerce expert. Warwick is, and if I can send him business his way, he thanks me for that by giving me a referral. It doesn't cost you any more money. You pay the price that you pay. To be honest, it doesn't matter to me if you sign up through my link or someone else's link. I just want you to get that info. But it's a cool way that we refer business to each other and we reward each other for the business that we refer. So those are the wheels. That's Wheel Science. They make world-class wheels. They are phenomenal. Another example is something called the Wahoo Kicker, which is an indoor trainer, which is also quite cool for this sort of time that we're in now. If you ride bicycles, you'll know exactly what a kicker is. It's one of those sort of, you take your back wheel, or not all of them, but you can take your back wheel off, put it on, and you can train indoors. Wahoo have got an affiliate program. Every time somebody buys an indoor trainer and I refer them, I get a commission on that. So we've got a couple of platforms in the cycling and triathlon space that we use these affiliate links in all the time, and they generate some income for our business as well. And then I've bunched these two together as the last way that we generate income online. It's not a massive money spinner. Again, we don't sell advertising on them. We use them as marketing tools for the rest of our business. So basically what we do is we use them to advertise ourselves, and that drives people into our business. But every now and again, somebody comes along and says, hey, listen, we love what you've built, and we think the product we're selling would be a good fit to your audience. Would you advertise our products on your podcast or on your YouTube videos? And we do take on clients every now and again. If you listen to our podcast, you'll hear the odd advert. But we only take on clients who we feel will add value to our audience. We don't want to just be bombarding people with adverts. If a product is a good fit, we will then take them on because we believe it's adding value to the audience that we've built. So there is some money in advertising. Two of the podcasts that we create, again, I'm just using the Coach Parry example, is Run with Coach Parry and the Ask Coach Parry podcast, but we've got lots. I mean, I've created podcasts till they've come out of my ears, if I have to be honest. All right. I'm showing you that tree. I love the fact that I'm South African. I love the fact that I get to live where I live. I think we live in an amazing place. And I love African trees. I love baobabs. I love acacias. And I think it's important that we plant trees. And that was why I wanted to do this training today. There's a saying that says the best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. And for me, when I was working early on in my career, I knew that, but I hadn't planted any trees. So when I started planting trees, things made a massive difference in my life. And obviously it's still growing and we don't know where this is going to go. But what I want to urge you to do is learn. And I said to you, I'd share with you the easiest way to learn to do these things. The first thing you need to do is just make the decision to start today. Start planting trees today. The first thing you do is probably not going to be a success, but you are going to learn lessons out of that you can take forward and turn into something else that probably will be a success. So start today. And I mentioned this photo early on in the in the presentation, and about the life of a freelancer with no work, no pay, no sick leave. I started planting trees shortly after I got sacked from the radio and we lost everything. And it's been a long journey, but this is a photo that we took of Lily last year, which was 2018. That was 6 years later. We took a family holiday for the first time since that one in 2012. Took another 3 weeks. So Lily's first holiday was in Christine's womb. This was her second holiday as a 6-year-old. And that is the coolest line in the Addo. It was her first proper holiday, or first holiday. It wasn't even her first proper. It was her first holiday. And the amazing thing on that trip is I remember sitting in the sighting, and I've got a notification on my phone that every time we make a sale on one of the websites, I get a little notification. It sounds like a cash register. And it's just a reminder for me to keep going. It's for nothing else. It doesn't mean, hey, we've made a sale, but it's just that constant reminder that I'm earning money without me physically being there. And it was really funny that we were sitting in the sighting and I got that cash register on my phone at this time, that I made money while we were sitting in the park on holiday, which is life-changing, absolutely life-changing. Robert Kiyosaki said it, that when you make money in your sleep, your life changes forever. And until you get to that point, it's hard to explain to somebody that feeling where you wake up in the morning and you've got a notification on your phone that you made money while you were sleeping, especially when you are stuck on the hamster wheel of you needing to be there in order to make money. And I think so many people are sitting in that situation, freelancers, business owners, and that's why I wanted to do this training, is just to let you know that there is a way out. It's going to take work. Nothing in life comes easy, but if you're willing to put the work in, you can make some incredible things happen using the tools that we've got available to us online today. So like I said, start today, set aside some time every single day, every single week that you can work on your side hustle, on your online business. Because if you do that, like with anything in life, investing, training, consistency is key. So if you keep building those gains, the compounding comes with time. The skills you learn, it might be difficult to do something today, but if you keep doing it every single day, a year from now, it becomes second nature. So be consistent. Start today, set time aside, and realize that it's never going to be perfect. So many people I see tinker with their website and their product, and this doesn't look right, and the imaging, and it's just they tinker, and they never actually ship anything. It's never going to be perfect. I've been doing this for a number of years now. Every time we launch something, I have that feeling that it's not perfect. To give you an example, we launched a product today on one of the businesses that we're doing that I've been working on for the last few days. It's just sort of in response to everything that's going on with COVID. And it wasn't perfect. The live stream bombed out. Things didn't work the way it was supposed to, but you know what? We shipped it. As soon as we finished the live stream, we got some sales. So you've just got to know, you've got to be okay with things being okay. I'm not saying do mediocre work. I'm just saying iterate and get better all the time. When you do it over time, it gets better. All right, tools and resources. This is the key. And hopefully this has got your brain turning. I want to let you know that this is going to be the first of quite a few trainings I'm going to do. So this is the plan that I'm thinking. I want to help as many people as I can sort of take what they're doing and put it online. I can't get through everything in a training like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into various different things. My forte and where I'm really good is creating sort of curriculum and online courses. I absolutely geek out on that. I think there's massive opportunity. Anyone can do it. It doesn't matter what your skill set is or what you're good at doing. There is opportunity for you right now in the online course space. It's easier than you think to do it. You just need to know how. And I'm very keen to do some training about how to set up an online course. And I will stay in touch and be in touch. Obviously, I've done this on my personal sort of Facebook page. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to share that link of Warwick's again. If you are interested in e-commerce, Warwick Kearns is your dude. bradbrown.co/ecom. Go check that out. Sign up. I've signed up because I want to learn. So I just want to follow and see what Warwick's doing because he is the leader in that space in South Africa. I might not necessarily want to start a full-on e-com separate business to what we're doing now, but there are tons of nuggets that Warwick's going to give you that you're going to learn tons. So bradbrown.co/ecom. The second thing I want to share with you is the tools that I use, okay? this week's been crazy, and I'm sure you'll understand. I wanted to have the list up and running and ready for you to download now, but I'm still busy working on it. So I should have it for you in the next week, the next day or two, that you'll be able to download. So if you head over to that URL now, you can sign up for it. You'll get an email saying, hey, they're on their way. And then as soon as I've done it, I'll pop you an email. So please do go to bradbrown.co/tools. You can get that there. Then I'm going to be moving these sort of trainings into a private Facebook group, because I don't really want to be pushing this out on to my personal Facebook page or group, Facebook page or profile. And I want to be sharing stuff in a more intimate, engaged environment. I mean, I shared stuff today that I was very nervous sharing on my private Facebook page, because nobody actually knows what I shared with you today. So particularly about my background. And so if you click on that bradbrown.co/Facebook, it'll take you to that group. Request to join. I'll link you in, and let's get chatting in there. Let's support each other. Let's create this environment where it's positive. I mean, there's so much rubbish on Facebook and Twitter at the moment. I want to try and get away from it as much as possible. So I'm just trying to make a safe little corner for us on the internet that we can hang out together, encourage each other, and really sort of encourage each other's dreams and hopes and that sort of thing. So please do get into that Facebook group. If you know of anybody who would be interested in this sort of stuff and would get value out of it, please get them to join, invite them, get yourself in there, invite them to join as well. The group's name is Brad Brown's Online Business. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I don't want it to be about me. It's about building online business in South Africa. So it was a group I started a while ago, but I'm going to be changing that title, but that's the URL to get to. And then I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of trainings that I'll be popping up on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I think it's a very new YouTube channel. I've got one subscriber, and it's me. So if you wouldn't mind clicking on bradbrown.co/YouTube so that you don't miss any of the videos that I'm going to be producing. And those videos are going to be like really nitty-gritty tutorials. So how to set up email sequences in the email software that we use, as an example. The online course stuff, how to validate the idea. Like, this is great, you've got all this information, I've overloaded you with info, but how do you actually come up with a viable idea that's going to be successful if you invest this time? So that's sort of where you're going to get those sorts of videos from. And then just finally, I wanted to say thank you for joining me today. Please be in touch. Like I said, I want to create this little safe space that we can sort of shelter and get away from the storm out there and build something that's going to sort of help us and help other people over time. Stay safe. I think that speaks for itself. Look after yourself and look out for each other. Be kind. And yeah, let's start today. If there are any questions, I see that a couple of people are on there. Brit saying, I'm hitting the nail on the head for me, just what I needed. Brit, I'm so glad. And hopefully this starts the conversation. This isn't the end. This is the start. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to do this just to show that it's possible, that people are doing it. I wanted to share other examples. I don't want this just to be about me. Yes, we've done some stuff, but that was why I shared Warwick's story. That's why I shared Tim and Taryn's story. I want you to know that there are people in South Africa right now doing this sort of stuff, and why not let it be you? Like, definitely check it out. Gail would like to know how to effectively market your online course. Gail, that's also, I mean, it's all good and well, got your online course, but how do you market it? So that's something I'm going to be doing as well, and finding the right audience for that. Sue, thank you. Not afraid of hard work? Yeah, absolutely not. Sue, I know you're not. You work crazy hard. So yeah, there we go. Alec wants to know the wheels fast downhill. Alec, when you're my size, anything is fast downhill, but they're super fast, and they're amazing. So what I'll do is, when I'm done with this, I'll pop all those links in the comments for this. Please do click on them, join that Facebook group, check out the YouTube channel, and yeah, download the tools, and then I will keep you updated when I'm going to be doing more live streams in that group via email. That might just be the easiest way to communicate. And yeah, I look forward to catching up more. So if there's any other questions, I will leave it open for a couple of minutes, or I'll leave it live. But yeah, if you're anything like me, you're going to end this call and you're going to go, oh, I should have asked this. Ask it in the comments, pop it into the Facebook group, and I'll be more than willing to help. So yeah, I absolutely love the online space. It's changed our lives. I mean, I mentioned that things are very uncertain at the moment, and don't get me wrong, I'm not playing this down at all. Yeah, I mean, we are stressing because I think everyone is, and we're not quite sure what the future holds. But I've seen this movie before. I mean, we've had the rug pulled out from under us, and back in 2010 when it happened, I didn't have a plan B. That was it. I've got a plan B now, and I feel a little bit better about it. Like, whatever happens, I know we're going to be okay, because we've got the skills. So my mom, my late mom, I was telling Lindsay about it the other day, and you've probably read the article. She always used to say that everything will be okay in the end. If things aren't okay, it's not the end. So that was what my mom used to say, and yeah, hopefully that resonates with you as well. So I just wanted to thank you for spending this time with me today. Apologies about the building site next door and the angle grinders, but hopefully that'll improve soon too as well. Take care, and we'll definitely chat soon.